Welcome to the Middle East Talent and Leadership Podcast, where we explore leadership, executive careers, business, and the realities of today's workplace across the Middle East and beyond. I'm Ines Mokrani, founder of Matchmaker No. 1. This podcast isn't about headlines or corporate cliches. It's about understanding how leadership, organizations, and careers really work, so you can make better decisions for yourself, your team, and your business. Today we're talking about one of the biggest leadership illusions, why many decisions are made long before the meeting even begins. Imagine this. You've spent 2 weeks preparing for an important meeting. You've analyzed the numbers, built the presentation, thought through every possible question. You've even rehearsed your key messages the night before. You walk into the boardroom feeling prepared, confident, ready. The meeting begins. The discussion starts. People are polite. They ask questions. They nod. But after only 15 minutes, something feels different. Not wrong, just different. Almost as if everyone already knows where this conversation is going. Your proposal isn't rejected, but it never really gains momentum. And as you leave the room, one question keeps coming back. What just happened? If you've ever experienced something like that, today's episode is for you. Welcome to the Higher Arabia podcast. I'm Ines Mokrani, the meeting myth. Most professionals grow up believing one simple idea. Meetings are where decisions happen. That's what we're taught. Prepare well, know your numbers, present a strong argument, answer questions confidently, and the best idea will win. It sounds logical, it sounds fair, sometimes it's even true, but after working with executive teams for more than 20 years, I've learned something different. In many organizations, meetings don't create decisions, they often formalize them, and that's an important distinction. Now, before we go any further, let me be very clear. This episode is not about hidden agendas, it's not about manipulation, and it's certainly not about suggesting that meetings don't matter. Quite the opposite. Meetings are essential. But leadership doesn't begin when the meeting starts. Leadership begins much earlier. Let's take a closer look at what actually happens inside many organizations. Imagine an executive team preparing for a major investment decision. The official board meeting is scheduled for Thursday morning. From the outside, it appears that Thursday is when the decision will be made. But inside the organization, something very different is already happening. On Monday, the CFO discusses the financial implications with the CEO. On Tuesday, the head of operations shares concerns about implementation. On Wednesday afternoon, one executive calls another simply to ask, "How do you feel about this proposal?" None of these conversations are secret. They're not inappropriate. In fact, they're often a sign of responsible leadership. Good leaders don't like unnecessary surprises. They test assumptions. They challenge ideas. They seek different perspectives. They identify risks before they become public. By the time everyone finally enters the boardroom, many questions have already been explored. Not because the meeting is unimportant, but because responsible leaders prepare before they decide. And that's where many professionals misunderstand how organizations actually work. They assume influence begins when everyone sits down. In reality, influence often begins days or even weeks earlier. Influence is built between meetings. Here's something I learned very early in my career. PowerPoint rarely changes minds. People do. Think about it. Why do some professionals consistently gain support for their ideas? It's usually not because their slides are more colorful or because they speak louder. It's because people already trust their judgment. Trust isn't built during one presentation. Trust is built through hundreds of small interactions. A conversation after another meeting, a quick phone call, a coffee, a project delivered successfully, a promise that was kept. A difficult situation handled professionally. Those moments accumulate, and over time they create credibility. When credibility exists, people become far more willing to support your recommendations. That's not politics, that's human behavior. We naturally place greater confidence in people whose judgment we've learned to trust, and organizations are made up of people. The mistake many professionals make. One of the biggest mistakes I see is this. Professionals spend hours preparing the presentation, but almost no time preparing the conversation. They believe that the meeting itself is the opportunity. In reality, the meeting is often the result of everything that happened before it. This doesn't mean you should lobby people behind closed doors. It means you should never allow your first meaningful conversation about an important idea to happen in the meeting itself. If a proposal will affect finance, talk to finance beforehand. If operations will be impacted, understand their concerns before asking for approval. If your idea changes someone else's priorities, find out what matters to them before asking them to support yours. This isn't manipulation, it's respect. It shows that you've considered other perspectives before asking people to make a decision, and that builds confidence. What great leaders do differently. The best leaders I've worked with have something in common. They don't try to win meetings, they prepare organizations. Long before an important decision reaches the agenda, they ask questions. What concerns you? What am I missing? What risks do you see? Who else should be involved? Notice something. They're not trying to convince people. They're trying to understand people. That's a completely different mindset. Because once people feel heard, they become far more willing to listen. Leadership isn't about winning arguments. Leadership is about creating alignment. And alignment begins with curiosity, not certainty. Now let me clarify something important. This episode is not saying that meetings don't matter. They absolutely do. Healthy organizations need transparency. Healthy organizations need challenge. Healthy organizations need disagreement. The best executive teams encourage difficult conversations. But they also recognize that complex decisions deserve thoughtful preparation. Preparation isn't politics. Preparation is leadership. So the next time you're preparing for an important meeting, don't just prepare your slides, prepare your conversations. Leadership is measured by the confidence people already have in your judgment. Until next time, lead with clarity, decide with confidence, and keep growing. Thank you for watching the Middle East Talent and Leadership Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might benefit from this conversation. I'd also love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment below. Until next time, lead with clarity, decide with confidence, and keep growing. I'm Ines Mokrani, and I'll see you in the next episode.